Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A shocking turn. The suspect in the murder of a well-known Detroit synagogue president released from police custody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Pamela Osborne.
And I'm Will Jones. It's the latest development in the murder case of Samantha Woll, which has garnered national attention. Police say Woll was killed at her Detroit home on the night of October 21st after she returned from a wedding. Last week, we learned a man was arrested in Kalamazoo in connection to the murder, but today he was released with no charges filed against him.
Jacqueline Francis joins us live from DPD headquarters. And Jacqueline, a lot of people wondering how this happened and, of course, what happens next.
That's right. It feels a little like deja vu. A high-profile murder case, a suspect arrested only to be released 72 hours later without charges. It happened in the case of Detroit neurosurgeon Devon Hoover, and it's happened again in this case with Samantha Woll.
I think it raises concerns about this case and the way that it is being investigated, which I hope ends up being that I end up being wrong about, and those concerns end up being assuaged when ultimately there is a prosecution in the case. But it's not off to a particularly good start.
This is legal expert Neil Rockind weighing in on the latest developments in the Sam Woll murder investigation. It comes after a murder suspect was taken into custody Wednesday. Detroit police said at the time there was still more investigating to do, but again, they had the suspect behind bars. Today, that suspect was released without charges, according to NBC News. Rockind says the suspect was likely arrested on probable cause, instead of having the prosecutor sign off on a warrant for charges ahead of their arrest.
It's doing things backwards. It's kind of putting the cart before the horse. And what happens is sometimes the police departments can get egg on their face.
It's unclear if the police presented a warrant request to the prosecutor's office, but we do know the investigation is ongoing.
Could this case be brought in the future? Yeah, the person could still be charged. This isn't double jeopardy. Jeopardy or prejudice is not attached. But the police have sort of tipped their hand in a way, haven't they? They've sort of told this person and those around him that this is who they're after. For the family of the deceased, that has to be very frustrating, because you feel like the fish was on the hook and that someone is pulling this, pulling reeling it in, and then they're let off.
Police continue to say this was not a hate crime. Aside from that, though, they're remaining tight-lipped on the ongoing investigation. Reporting live from Detroit Police Headquarters, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Thank you, Jacqueline. We'll have a full breakdown of the case and what we've learned so far on clickondetroit.com.
A frantic mother trying to save her children from a house fire this morning drops her baby out of a second-story window to a neighbor standing below. That neighbor catches the baby. It happened on Detroit's west side. Priya Mann picks up our story from there with the neighbor who took action.
Detroit firefighters were here within 4 minutes of getting the call. Inside that home was a family of 7, and a neighbor's quick thinking helped save lives.
I just heard a loud noise, and then I heard the screaming, and I ran outside, saw the kids on the ground, and they were hanging out the window.
Shantasia Young says she looked up and saw a frantic mom in desperate need of help.
She was holding the baby by her foot, upside down.
Shantasia was on the phone with dispatchers when she caught the baby with one arm.
She threw out another kid, the 4th kid, and then she just started screaming, my baby, and I saw the little infant, like 3 months old, so I just grabbed him.
A couple and their 5 children, ranging in age from just 3 months to 8 years old, all made it out safely.
Little minor smoke inhalation, couple abrasions, but they're going to be okay.
You know, some might call you a hero.
Yeah, I was just at the right place at the right time. Just glad I was here.
Not everyone does the right thing, though.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome. That's the beautiful thing about the city of Detroit. We always come together, especially when it's a serious incident and somebody like a child that's awesome. We thank her so much because it's a group effort, it's a team effort to keep this city safe.
Shantasia had just come home after a 12-hour shift when the fire started around 9:30 Saturday morning on Kramer Street near Joy in Wyoming on the city's west side.
I was just down in my pajamas, just about to lay down and take my nap for the day.
But Shantasia says she didn't think twice before rushing to save her neighbor's babies.
They were just screaming. They were saying thank you, but they were just screaming. They were very blessed to not. Man, it could have been a lot worse.
Investigators are still working to determine the cause of the fire. At this time, the arson division is investigating. Reporting from Detroit's west side, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Our thanks to Priya Mann. It has been a wild 24 hours for Michigan football, but you wouldn't have known it by their performance on the field today.
Jamie is here now, and this team clearly was able to put all the distractions aside and to play football.
They were, with so much going on. Will and Pam. Friday, the Big Ten suspended Jim Harbaugh. Michigan responded with a temporary restraining order request against the conference, but there was no ruling prior to today's game against Penn State, which meant Jim Harbaugh could not be on the sidelines. Michigan AD Ward Manuel released a statement that reads in part, quote, "You may have removed him from our sidelines today, but Jim Harbaugh is our head football coach. We look forward to defending Jim's right to coach our football team at a hearing on Friday." And that is a reference to an in-person hearing scheduled prior to Michigan's game at Maryland. Now, Michigan OC Sharon Moore stepped into acting head coaching role today at Happy Valley. The sign-stealing saga fresh in the minds of the Nittany Lions, who celebrated a big play by pretending to steal Michigan signs right there. In the end, Michigan dominated, especially on the ground. They had 227 yards and 3 touchdowns. Michigan wins 24-15 to remain undefeated. Moore was very emotional after the win.
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. This is for you. For this university, the president, our AD, we got the best players, best university, best alumni in the country. Love you guys. These guys right here, these guys right here, man.
Very emotional there on the side or on the field. Much more coming up from Happy Valley coming up in sports.
Let it all out.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jamie.
We had a good amount of sunshine today, but if you've been outside tonight, you know the chill has really started to set in.
We toss it over to Ron now, who is following a warm-up.
Yeah, you know, we have some temperatures that are really going up over the next few days. We should be about 50 degrees, but we're going to see those temperatures take a little boost. So things are comfortable out there. Look what's happening right now. Some of us have some cloud cover, some of us mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Well, here's how that looks on the clouds and radar forecast. You can see right there, things are looking good around here, but you go up into the UP and look, there's some snow around the area. So coming back home, we're looking into downtown Detroit from Windsor. The current temperatures around the area ranging from the lower 30s already up to about 40 degrees, a little bit chilly out there. So coming up, what we're going to talk about is that we have a partly cloudy to mostly cloudy night, depending on your location. Tomorrow, though, more sunshine. So that's going to be a recurring theme. And we're also going to talk about the warm-up. That's all up ahead.
Detroit police are investigating a fatal hit and run that happened this afternoon. Police say a man was hit while on West Verner near Hubbard, and the driver kept going. If you saw this crash, police want to hear from you. Call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP.
A 16-year-old and 18-year-old are behind bars tonight. Those teens accused of stabbing a 20-year-old Port Huron man. Police say the victim was stabbed in the chest during a fight with the two suspects at a Port Huron home around 4 o'clock this morning. The victim is expected to be okay. Both suspects face several charges, with that 16-year-old facing an assault with intent to murder charge as well. Striking Detroit casino workers held a large rally today in front of the MGM Casino.
Union members continue their calls for improved wages and benefits. Last week in Las Vegas, casinos reached a tentative deal with the Las Vegas Hotel Workers Union. Workers we talked to today pointed to that agreement, saying they're growing restless to get their own deal done. But right now it appears talks are slow going. Workers have been on strike for 25 days.
On this Veterans Day, United States Army veteran David Klein got a special honor from the city of Dearborn. Klein was named the Dearborn Veteran of the Year. Now Klein, he served in the U.S. Army for over a decade and has served other veterans in the community in the years since.
And I have nothing but respect for anybody that wore a uniform as a veteran. I don't care who he was, what nationality, what race, creed, whatever. A veteran's a veteran.
Over the past several years, Klein has overseen the local veteran color guard in Dearborn. We want to, of course, thank him and every single one of our veterans out there for your service.
Still ahead tonight, you won't need your umbrellas, but sunglasses could come in handy over the next several days. We'll check back in with Ron.
Also, the celebration of pop culture, bringing thousands of people to Novi, some in costume.